a summary of that is I like shit. Aha. This time I turned off the fan. Also this time I kicked the weights on the way down. Boy, the video's way off. I'm already gonna have to edit this. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to episode 7 of Enthusiast Cyborg. This time the 7th day of the 8th day of the 8 days to the apocalypse. This is another morning video. I forgot to do this yesterday, so I'm gonna do it today in the morning. I didn't just wake up, I took a shower this time so I don't smell like shit. I feel a little bit more awake, but in general, not feeling so hot. But today I get to get my new laptop. This is actually the second time I'm recording this. First time I tried to record it, my nose started to bleed for a moment there. It's really odd, considering the video subject's not something to have a nosebleed about. They're just odd and messy and bloody. Wasn't cool. Well, today's video is about... It's an interesting phenomenon that plagues me, and that's my ability to love what is terrible in terms of a work of fiction. So a summary of that is I like shit stuff. If you follow me on Twitter, in fact if you just read my blog, any of my posts, you'll know that I'm not a person who knows how to forgive and or forget. I gripe, I whine, I moan and I complain about anything that annoys me in a manga or in an anime, and as long as it annoys me I just go on and on and on about it, especially on Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter you should know I do that. I did that yesterday night in fact. And yet there are certain anime and manga that despite me hating on them, I still love. So right now you're just on the other side of the screen. Pretend that this is a real audience, in fact. Right now you're on the other side going, the fuck is wrong with you? What's wrong with you, Cyborg? Exactly. I don't know. It's understandable. It's unexplainable. Sorry. It's like I'm Tsundere towards every single anime or manga I've read and or watched, every single film I've ever watched, or TV series. Alright, let's take for example, this is the easiest example, Guilty Crown, right? I love, and I repeat again, I love the rip on Guilty Crown. I just love the rip on the shit plot. Like, you know, I like to rip on the plot. It's like, the plot's predictable, it's unimaginative, it's poorly executed. And I love the shit on Oma Shu as well, for being a useless sorry sack of piss of a main character. And I also love to hate on many of the other characters and how they feel flat, they feel 2D, and they have no greater worth than masturbatory material or something like that. But at the end of it all, I would watch Guilty Crown again. In fact, I love Guilty Crown. I freaking love the show. And it was one of the most enjoyable anime I've watched in recent times. What the hell? Well, I don't know. It just is. Despite all my hate on Guilty Crown, I still love it. Because enjoyment is not relative to quality, I feel. Have you ever enjoyed that, like the terrible Flash game you played once? It's just this really mundane, boring Flash game, but for some reason you loved it, and you played it when like Call of Duty was updating on your computer, and you just played this random Flash game, and even though it was shitty, you loved the hell out of it. Exactly, it's the same concept, that I found enjoyment in something that I hated on, or that something that will be considered on most parts to be shittily terrible, absolutely shitty. Alright, how about we take another example into account? It's very simple. Sakura so no pet na kanojo. Hey, I remember the whole name, that's amazing. I had to Google the whole name last time. Alright, I hate Kanda Sorota, the main character. And if given the opportunity to, I would spawn him into the real world just so I could put a knife straight into his ribs. or his spine. Either way, he would have a horrible way to go. I probably think of something much more graphic if I manage to do that. And well, the characters are all rather, yeah, they're a bit bland. You know, you feel as if you've seen it all. They're a bit bland. They're not completely bland. They're not completely 2D. They're not like 2D characters or very flat, boring characters. They're just a bit bland and boring. And one of the stupidest things that I dislike about Sakurazo is that the background music is very, very mediocre, and I've heard this so many times before. It's the same fucking music. It's the same damn things. It's the most stupid thing to be annoyed about. Just simply the background music annoys me for some unknown reason. What? Yeah, exactly. And like, I enjoyed it. When watching Sakurazo, I felt as if I've seen this shit so many times before, but I still enjoy it. I still enjoy watching it. Not so much. I still enjoy watching it. I mean, I think the two of the three guys in the shows are completely useless. There's Soratan and there's Jin. They're both a bit useless. Jin's a bit useless. Soratan is completely useless. So in the new episode, you better do something amazing. If not, I'm just gonna consign him to the the region. Consign him to the part of the mind that says terrible characters. And the same something is that if you can shit on a manga or an anime, you just hate on it, you whine, you bitch, you complain, you moan about anything or anything, and yet you still enjoy it. I think it must mean it's good to you. I mean, that's what I feel. I don't feel right unless I can manage. I don't feel right when watching a movie or watching anime. I don't feel right unless I can whine about some aspect of the work of fiction. Even though I love it. I'm not kidding, I whine about everything I've ever read. It's like a habit of mine now. I don't know. I mean, I recently watched the movies Expendables 2, and it was really, really cheesy. It's really cheesy and stupid at the end, and yet I found it incredibly enjoyable. What? I don't know. In fact, I seem to derive part of the fun of watching something based on how much I can make fun of it. It's just because it's interesting to do. I have a lot of fun when I type my hate out for Sakurazo, and I can hear the housework outside. So to summarize all the above points, what I'm trying to say is, despite an anime or a manga being completely terrible in every way, like it would from an objective point of view be really, really bad. Despite it being really, really bad, as long as you like it, that's all that's important to you, right? I mean, as long as you like it, it is good. You don't need to justify whether or not you like an anime or why you like an anime or a manga. You don't need to justify that. You just have to know that you liked it, and that's all that's important to you. And in fact, that's all that's important about it to you. Wow, I'm repeating the same things again. Well, this has been another episode of Enthusiast Cyborg. I tried mixing it up today with camera angles. Probably screwed up a bit. I probably edit this a lot. But for now, it's been CyborgCommunist. Like, favorite, subscribe. Nobody ever does that. Nobody. Yeah. See ya.